Welcome to Club IDIC. Tonight, we are going to be watching Kobayashi from Star Trek Prodigy, and we are going to be discussing looking back to move forward. Please enjoy this meeting. Hey, ooh, Sue, you got dressed up for me.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling the black and gray today.
Well, you look very nice and green.
Thank you.
How are you?
But I'm okay. Valentine's Day hoo-ha aside.
Wow.
Yeah, and down here south of the border, we're getting ready for the Super Bowl.
Oh, well, Canadians watch it too, just so you know. But I don't personally care about it.
Okay.
But Valentine's Day, maybe I'll go out to dinner or something.
Treat yourself like usual.
Well,
Or is your church having a group meetup again?
No. No, it's okay. I might just go out to dinner at the diner across the road. I don't know. Nice little Cobb salad with chicken. I don't know. I'd take myself out. Maybe I'll go to a movie or something. I don't know.
And there's supposed to be other people tonight.
Yeah. It is what it is. Can't really change things.
Huh?
Can't really, convince people to show up here and hang out,
Right. And me trying to get Prodigy ready.
Yeah.
And then my Paramount Plus is looking at me like, do you like to set the parental access code now?
Aw.
Like, I have no children. I don't need that. Go away.
Well, I almost wish you did, because you would make a great dad.
You said that last time.
Well, I mean it. You've just got that good heart inside of you. And I don't care. The whole world can hear me say that. I don't care.
Well, you are recording this.
I would say that even if I wasn't recording. Come on, smile. You know you want to.
Okay.
Anyway.
Complain about, hey, what happened to your hair?
What?
Remember the last time I got hair?
Well, no, you probably did something with it because of the heat or whatever. So I'm not gonna
heat. The middle of February.
Well, I'm not gonna pick at your looks. That's a personal thing.
Okay.
It's up to you what you want to do with your hair. So
has anybody ever tried to dare you into something where if you end up losing the bet, you had to cut off the ponytail?
I'm not cutting the ponytail off. So I'll jump from a tree house when they take the ladder away, and I'll eat disgusting crap, but I'm not cutting the bloody ponytail off so they can dare away.
Okay.
I actually have jumped from a tree house when they took the ladder away and eaten disgusting things on dares, but I'm not cutting the bloody ponytail off. What? It surprises you?
No. Now me trying to picture you with shoulder length hair or something else.
Oh, I should show you pictures later.
Okay, got me there.
I've even had bright platinum blonde hair and curly hair.
Okay, so you're really gonna show me the whole quest for that perfect hairstyle?
Well, no, this was when I was a child. My hair was platinum blonde and curly.
So how'd you get what you have now?
It darkened. I'm highly allergic to certain chemicals and highly chemically sensitive, so I can't put stuff in it.
Alrighty.
I couldn't do anything with it. I'm allergic to ammonia. Makes me pass out.
Well, fair enough. I know I had a friend of mine who's also starting to get up there in years, and he is starting to put like freaking hair dye in his head.
I don't think I could do that. It's got too many chemicals in it.
I mean, and then again, this is the embarrassing part. He actually had his parents put the hair dye on his head.
Oh, well, once I sprayed it black with can spray for Halloween, but I didn't keep it in. I washed it out. But it looked good.
What were you Halloween last year?
It wasn't last year, it was a few years ago.
What, before you started these online viewing parties?
There was a viewing party last year.
So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't do things with my hair just because I can't. Chemicals are too much. Even perfume makes me pass out to sleep for 3 hours.
Okay, and something else I'm not going to get into.
Even cologne would kill me. I cannot be around cologne.
So, like, if you came around me, you just plop down the floor?
Well, I would hope you would have the consideration not to wear it if you were around me physically. Knowing that.
Okay, so I should mail myself to you and see what happens when you open the package.
If you mailed yourself to me, I'd take you out to dinner.
Where are we going?
I don't know. I have a nice Italian place down the street.
Mm-hmm. Coming from the woman who wanted to throw a cannoli at me last year.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember that.
They actually do have some nice cannolis at this place. I've seen them. I went there for a business meeting once.
Okay.
And some really nice pasta dishes.
All right, is the menu at least in English? I know around
Yes.
around have been some Italian restaurants here in New York. I ordered those same thing, mainly because the chicken parmigiana, mainly because my Italian is horrible and I can't read the rest of the menu.
You're talking, I've only got a little bit of Italian in my DNA, so I couldn't even read it. Yes, I do have it. My 23andMe says so. But diversity is wonderful, even if we can't understand all of it. And that's what this month's diversity month is talking about, like the beauty of diversity. That's what Kobayashi is about, partially, is the beauty of diversity, and it brings all of Trek together.
Okay, only thing I know about Prodigy, it was supposed to be for children. I have the plushie of the slime creature. Yeah, I don't feel like going all the way and bringing that thing out here just to show it.
You have one of everything, don't you, when it comes to Trek? I just can't believe you.
Jealous, my dear?
Yes. I'm almost surprised that you weren't invited to the season 3 premiere. I thought you would have been.
Wasn't feeling it this year. And I know that the thing that happened today, it's gonna be in New York Monday at the 92nd Street. Why? But and I guess the other thing I could say, I was too late with getting tickets.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
It is what it is. We'll see it next week.
Okay, I've been trying to dodge Picard spoilers for the last 2 months.
We'll see it next week. It's here next week.
Right.
I don't personally like it that some fans were considered favorites over others. That's the problem I have with it.
Sorry, kindly repeat the sentence.
I don't like it that some fans were considered favorites over others, and why can't everybody just see it at the same time? If some fans, like, instead of some fans just being considered favorites over others, it's sad. I get that the cast and people in Star Trek were invited to a red carpet premiere, but why fans? Why can't fans just wait and all see it at the same time?
So wait, are you getting on me for Strange New Worlds?
I gave you the thing for Strange New Worlds. I'm not mad at you for
You
that
for
because
Picard
I gave it to you.
That was season 2 of Picard you gave me.
I gave you the Strange New Worlds thing too.
Now, I went to the movie theater and saw Strange New Worlds.
That was specifically targeted to New York. So no, I'm not mad about that because I gave it to you and told you to have a great time. And I would have been mad had you not gone.
Well, I went. You gave me the code for Picard season 2 online with the drunk Andorian.
Because they were offering that to everybody in the States. I mean, but to invite just specific fans to fly to LA on a blue carpet and ignore the other fans and say, basically, screw you, you're not good enough, we don't value you, just to have like specific fans when they were it just feels unfair and elitist and sad.
Oh, it's so unfair. Why? Because fans will kill each other just because of the privilege of watching.
Well, it feels like
a week ahead of time.
It feels like a privilege. I get why people involved with Star Trek and especially Picard got to go because they were all involved and they wanted to see their work. But why were certain fans considered privileged over others?
It's all in the connections.
Like if they were going to pick fans, they should have picked fans who at least wrote or created something to do with Star Trek.
But I know a bunch of people of mine, and I'm probably, thing is, I'm going to be next, let's say the 10th, starting the 22nd, I'm going to be taking up training on how to set up meetups.
Oh, that's great.
From the people who got me into a few of these things.
Well, congrats. So you'll get invited to things. That's amazing.
Yeah, me learning how to set things up.
Well, I mean, then you'll get to stay and watch because that's usually what people get to do is hang around and watch.
Yeah, but I'm not going to get too ahead of myself, Heather. No, because it's like middle of February. Right, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch.
That's true. But I'm very proud of you. You're very privileged. Enjoy the privilege. I don't know. I just wish that, all fans were treated equally. And all people who had put a little footprint in the fandom were treated equally as well.
Man, what is this, Russia?
I don't know, but it's just, everybody has a love of it, but some are more privileged than others when it comes to actually benefit, like seeing different things from the Star Trek world.
Right.
Oh my goodness, what is that?
Like one of these things. But then again, your situation, where's the room?
What is that?
You know what this is?
What is that? The protostar?
No.
I don't know what that is without the box. Oh goodness. Oh, is that the Strange New Worlds ship?
No. And you call yourself a fan.
Why is it out of the box?
What is this thing you asked? We were watching a movie last year with James, what's the dude's name? James, Jacob, what's that dude's name?
I don't know, but what
They had the Star Trek background on his Zoom.
Yeah, but what is that?
Because we're watching we were watching Star Trek First Contact.
Oh yeah.
And we had a little problem with him.
Oh, is that the E?
The E. remember what's it say? It's like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what happened to my volume? Why am I hearing some guy talking over the movie?
Yeah,
But yeah, that's the Enterprise E I just showed you.
that's amazing. It's beautiful. Why is it out of the box?
Okay, I was displaying it.
Oh, so you always plan to keep it?
I'm not the day I sell this thing is 1 day shy of the date on my tombstone.
Okay, well, that's why you keep it in the box.
Oh, like the Dragon Morpher I had signed by the late Jason David Frank.
Oh,
That
Lord.
thing I'm not opening.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, ships are a beautiful thing. And
It makes me wonder, I'm watching Discovery, what were they smoking when they designed the 39th century fleet?
they were thinking that Starfleet was broken and they pretty much got kicked out of, they lost all their members and they had to do whatever they had to do. Like pretty much Starfleet pissed off a whole bunch of people by the 39th century and they had what, 6-member worlds left?
Yeah, I know I'm not gonna hold my breath for that Tilly show.
Yeah, I don't know either. I really don't know, but
And I was wondering earlier tonight, why the heck are all the Star Trek conventions elsewhere now?
I know I was looking forward to Mission Seattle. I was gonna.
I know until the late Teresa thing happened.
Well, no, they canceled it.
Oh, right. Forgot about that.
I would have gone even without Teresa. I would have gone because Washington is where my mother was born.
I know one of my old professors lives in Oregon, last I checked, which was decades ago. Might as well be what's that place called? SETI Alpha 5.
Yeah. But I don't know, I don't know why they don't want to have any conventions this year. I don't see any on the docket and I don't see anything but the Creation Con and they just invited Orville people. So I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I don't know about Vegas myself.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah. Have you seen Prodigy before?
Yeah.
So question, is it like a half hour or an hour?
It's an hour and it's a fun show.
Yeah, because I caught season 2 of, I don't know if you ever gonna plan a viewing party for this one. Forget the congestion. But as I was saying, have you looked at Lower Decks?
I have.
And me, last time I really sat down and watched a full episode, which is half an hour, the cliffhanger for season 2.
Oh, yeah. If you have an episode request, just bring it forward and
Okay.
I'm open to that. I'm always open to requests.
Okay.
I mean, I try to include all sorts of Trek. So
Okay, so have you seen the Lower Decks with Cetacean Ops?
I haven't seen as much of Lower Decks as I would like. Just,
Yeah,
school.
I'm waiting for Picard next week. I don't know anything about Discovery or Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds is so fun.
Yeah, and fun. Strange New Worlds. The fun part, dear Heather, was trying to go to the after party only to find out there's nowhere for us to sit in
Oh.
between the NCAA Final Four and the WWE WrestleMania.
Like what? but you still went, right? You still hung around.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to split a cab with 4 people. Because there's
How
no
did
way
you
in
squeeze
Hades
4
we're gonna get to
people?
the bar in time.
How did you squeeze 4 people into a cab? That just sounds funny, squeezing 4 people into a cab in New York. And they don't have cab vans, do they?
Huh?
Do they have cab vans?
They're like little minivans?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
But we were in a car.
Oh,
Regular, like sedan, I believe.
oh, that sounds painful.
Yeah, 3 people in the back, 1 riding shotgun with the guy.
Oh, I'm trying to picture it and I can't help but be amused a little bit because there's people squeezing into cabs like clown car.
Any clown comments, and I'll wish you to the cornfield.
What? I'm sorry. You made me laugh.
And you're probably wondering how I'm saying this with a straight face.
I don't know. But I'm hoping the after party mostly was fun.
It was.
Got to mingle with stars and people and
Well, no. The after party I went to was with the fans, not Anson Mount or oh my god, I don't remember the rest of their names. Well, then again, they just came out last year, so how long did it take me to remember Next Generation's cast? No.
well, Trek is becoming more diverse, and that's a good thing. I mean, it wasn't so diverse in the old days. I mean, Deep Space Nine was diverse, but really it wasn't very diverse.
Why? Because of all the human captains.
Because of it was very rigid. It had rigidity to it. It really didn't allow for much creativity in the way everything was, or diversity, because of how things were at the time that it was made.
Okay.
But now we're seeing different possibilities, and that's what Trek really is about, different possibilities.
Okay, so which one do you like more? Let me throw this at you real quick. I know it's 1924 here. I meant the time, not the year.
Well, my favorite is still Deep Space Nine because it started the whole talk of more possibilities in a time really where it wasn't yet allowed.
What's that episode called again? Out Amongst the Stars?
Far Beyond the
He's in that
Stars.
dream world where he's like a publishing
Right.
sci-fi stories in
It
like
was Far
50s
Beyond the
era
Stars.
America.
I actually wrote a poem based on that title that's in an issue of Star Trek.
Far Beyond the Stars. There we go.
Yes. That's my favorite series.
So I was going to ask you, which do you prefer? The Roddenberry universe, the Berman universe, the Kelvin verse, or the Kurtzman universe?
I don't know yet. I really don't know yet, but my favorite series is Deep Space Nine for the moment.
Well, I know I won't go there tonight, but you know you can tell by the way I usually dress on these things which one is my favorite.
And people shouldn't be afraid to have favorites. People shouldn't be afraid to say what's their favorite, and they shouldn't let people gatekeep what their favorite Trek is. People shouldn't be forced to follow a crowd. They should like what they like and dislike what they dislike without fear.
Yeah, because I remember the other year, think about a year and a half ago, a friend of mine, I invited one of my younger friends to a Star Trek cosplay shoot. And it's like, I know she's like, I know she's in her 20s. And she's figuring that I do not fit in with these Star Trek people. So basically, long story short, it's like, stop worrying about fitting in and enjoy the show. Yeah, I know, because like us Star Trek people, half of us are old enough to be her parents.
Yeah, well, I mean, as much as we want to fit in, we're not going to fit in. Everybody's different, everybody's unique. We all have our quirks, and we're never going to make everybody happy. But at the same time, though, we shouldn't be so outlandish and so out to lunch that we think that we know everything. We should be willing to listen, willing to learn, willing to become better. And I don't know how much of Prodigy you've seen, but
Half an episode.
we shouldn't be like Dal and pretend we know everything under the sun and be unwilling to learn and change.
Yeah, it's been one thing of me. I tried to get experiences, just to get, even as a child, my parents tried to get me out of New York City.
Oh, it's impossible. You're a New York boy through and through.
Yeah, I've been to Washington, D.C.
I know, but your heart, it will always be in New York.
Just like you'll be a West Coast person.
I don't know. I've never really even seen the East Coast, so I don't know.
Oh, you're not even in the West Coast. What am I saying?
I'm in a prairie.
Yeah.
No, I don't know where I'll end up, but I'm open-minded.
Yeah, I've been to Washington, D.C., Virginia, Connecticut. It's like a geographical quiz show here.
But you're open-minded and open to learning new things, correct? I sense that you are, based on what I know of you, you are.
Like, you look at the stuff I post every morning at memories from like 5 years ago.
Yes.
And considering what time of year it is, why is it every time I'm looking through my Facebook memories? Why do I have to have pictures of past relationships? And I know this is not good for me psychologically. I'm like, where's the ship's counselor? I need to discuss this. I don't do like Barclay, Bug and the counselor all the time.
Well, you have infinite patience as well, so that's good for you, right?
I prefer to think more along the lines of the cube. My time is infinite. My patience, on the other hand.
I wouldn't say that your patience has limits, because I've known you for a while and you've never given up on me, and I frustrate even the most patient. So
Do tell.
I just did.
True, I read the stuff you post, unlike most people.
You better hope I don't come to New York.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, being open-minded sometimes and learning how to grow and become better, that's part of what life is about. And sometimes, people sometimes learn how to grow simply by talking about their life and their past. And that's how we learn to move forward, is by talking about or looking back at our past and looking at what holds us back from moving forward. And that's what Dal does in this episode.
Okay.
He is forced to examine what is holding him back by taking this test.
Oh, joy.
Oh, come on, give it a chance.
I mean, the Kobayashi Maru, that test of character
Yes.
that they make all the cadets go through.
Well, technically, he's not a cadet. He's an escaped prisoner who
Oh,
lied to a hologram and said, "Oh, I'm a cadet."
well, you have to bear with me because I haven't really watched too much Prodigy.
I will bear with you. Don't worry. I will bear with you. And speaking of watching Prodigy, is that something you think we should do since we're the only ones here?
Yeah, but it's already 7:30 my time, so.
Yeah, and I don't want to tire you out. I know I've only got you for so long before you get tired.
All righty, let me mute this thingy.
All right. See
All
you
right, fire it
after.
up. See you soon.
How'd you like it?
Okay, well, it's half-hour show for the most part.
Well,
The Zoom was being weird for
yeah,
about
that's my
50
fault. My
show.
computer's a piece of crap. I really do need to replace it.
And it was hilarious watching the young man take the test 100 times over
I know.
until, like I say, Kobayashi Maru is how you handle a no-win situation.
Yes, but guess what? We are our own worst enemies. Sometimes it is our own pride and inability to look at what inside of us that needs fixing that stops us from moving forward. And it was Dow's inability to look at himself and say, hey, this is why I'm failing, that made him take the test so many times. He was just doing it over and over and over the same way, failing in the exact same ways. And he was not stopping and thinking, why am I failing? What can I fix?
Because his ego couldn't handle losing.
The teenage
He's looking
ego.
of course. He's trying to find 100 ways to win until he finally got through his head after about the 100th attempt.
Dow is a child. He thinks he knows everything.
They're all children, but he's cocky.
He's very cocky. He thinks, oh, I'm a captain and there's nothing left I can learn and I need everybody to respect me as I am. But as you are, you're not at a point where people can respect you. And people have probably told you that. And Jankum was saying, I need to tell you what you're doing wrong. And Dow's response was, get out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, yeah, funny, hilarious moment was when he thought he had won by detonating the warp core, another ship shows up, and the look on his face was like, ugh.
And just when he thought that he and Spock had won the day, he sits and he accidentally blows his own ship up. And then he grieves and Spock's like, you know what? Oh, my poor little child, you remind me of my old captain. Like, and in order to bring out the goodness in yourselves, you need to become better at listening, because you remind me so much of my old captain. But you know what? You don't have to. You can become better at listening. I think that he was dissing James T. Kirk a little bit. It was a diss on Kirk because Kirk wasn't good at listening. Kirk thought he knew it all.
Well, that's one thing I've learned being a commanding officer. It's not about barking orders at people. You have to listen as well.
Yes.
And you don't have all the answers.
No, nobody has all the answers. That's why we need each other as people. That's why a captain needs a crew. And, that's why, like, interestingly enough, rushing into situations and spaces isn't always the best thing. And that's exactly what Dow did. Like rushing into situations and spaces and trying to establish your own personal presence there without first making sure you know the rules and understand them will make our time in that space harder, if not impossible. Because all spaces have different rules. Dow rushed into the Kobayashi Maru without really understanding how to play it, expecting that he would immediately be successful. He didn't really study the help he could have asked for. He didn't assess the situation before him, and he didn't do anything but assume he could handle things. He didn't really get to know his crew around him. He just said, give me some of the best.
Yeah.
And then when he lost the first time, he's like, oh, I'm going to do this over and over and over and over again. And even the Holo crew was commenting, I think he's lost his ability to make decisions.
Yes, even though, oh my God, the OMG moment, 4 of the Hollow crew members are dead.
I know. Thank goodness for voice preservation technology that allows. It did a good job with that. They literally brought back people that I thought we'd never hear from or see from again.
And considering personal toot of the horn, I have 3 out of 4 autographs.
Oh, of course you do.
Yeah, I just didn't have Leonard. I don't have Leonard Nimoy. I have Renee, I have Nichelle, and James.
Oh gosh, lucky you. I've only met I'd never met Renee, but I've met Nichelle. Let me think. I have to think. Oh gosh, where did my brain go? I'm sorry. I have
Trying to figure out why the blob creature did not explode.
what?
I'm trying. It's like a little It's like a Star Trek episode. They got the main plot, and then there's a side story that's going on with the other crew members.
Yeah, well, that actually really makes me think about how we all have the ability to do good in our lives as long as we do not rush into spaces or opportunities without proper awareness, because this really focuses on the B plot as well, because both Dell and Gwen didn't really have proper awareness of their realities. That's why Gwen was depressed. She was thinking about her father and how he was this terrible guy when she loved him. She was like, this is my father, and he's actually a terrible guy. And all this time I loved him. But
Yeah.
he's a good guy. And this lack of awareness of their realities led them to great pain when they realized what was actually going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we really, as much as it may hurt us, we need to actually have that reality of our awareness. It may cause us pain at the beginning, but it will help us later. It will help us to be able to protect ourselves and develop a reality that will be able to make us stronger people.
Makes me wonder. Any upcoming missions
on
your end?
Missions?
Church-wise, dear.
I don't know yet. I suppose with the schooling I'm taking, I could eventually.
Maybe I remember you posting about something you did like 5 years ago, was it? Trying to recall off the top of my head.
Oh, like serving a mission? Like I suppose I could with the schooling I'm taking now, do a family history research mission somewhere. And that, like,
did your church send you to some place sometime? Ugh, I know that makes no sense whatsoever.
well, you'd have to ask.
I remember.
Well, okay, the funny thing is, and I just found this out recently, that I'd be considered what is a senior sister at 35. I'm a senior sister service missionary, which means my opportunities are a lot bigger than they were at 25. So I could reasonably go a lot of places if I had sufficient money or if I got somebody to pay for it.
Okay, GoFundMe.
Yeah.
So to embark on a journey.
I mean, that would be very reasonable if I got a little more training in what I'm doing right now, because I think it would be very cool to go to some places and help people with their family research, because it's actually becoming a thing. And people, you know, as the world is changing, people are actually probably looking at themselves and looking at their family history and wanting to do it, but not knowing how, so they need help.
Sorry.
They are coming to appreciate who they are as people more, and they're wanting to explore their heritage more.
I can ask my mom that question. It has come up,
Or
actually.
I could just do your tree for free on Ancestry privately and we could have that discussion.
Yeah, how much is that, may I ask?
What
Say
Ancestry?
Canadian dollars.
I don't know. I'll have to look that up for you, but I can tell you later.
Okay.
Because yeah, and the DNA, I think it's on sale right now because of Valentine's Day. 23andMe is at least.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, heritage, it definitely is something worth appreciating. Past and present heritage and history. This is basically what this episode is about for Dal, learning to appreciate who he is as an individual and learning to appreciate those who have come before him. All these people he pulled out of the holodeck, they came before him.
Yeah.
Uhura, Crusher, Odo, Spock, Scotty, they all came before him with their unique gifts and talents to try and help him win this Kobayashi Maru. And Spock, bless his heart, Spock, he actually used his Vulcan nerve pinch to try and...
Yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't any Robert O'Reilly in this episode.
Oh gosh, do you know how much my brain...
Oh, come on. Don't tell me you go to sleep wondering, OMG, is Galron hiding underneath my bed?
Oh, Galron, yes. Well, I'm sure they had a limited amount of people because every time they use a character or use his name, they have to pay the character or the person a royalty, I think. So they had to really be careful. They probably didn't want to use
it's like the whatchamacallit, like the Search for Spock Klingons.
Yeah, they wanted to be careful not to pay too many royalties, I think, because they didn't want to use too many living characters.
And man, I'm worried about those Spock and Scotty royalties.
Yeah, because
I wonder if Adam saw this episode.
I don't know. Adam is actually a very nice guy. I've actually got, I believe, a picture of us with Joe and John Trimble at Star Trek Las Vegas 2016. He's a really nice guy. I met him when he came to Vulcan to dedicate a statue of it. Dedicated to Spock. Yeah.
And I remember when I went to Star Trek The Experience, where I took the Kobayashi Maru.
How'd you do?
And I'm like, okay, where's my drink?
I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see that because you have this captain-y personality to begin with.
Well, it's been years in the making, I will admit.
I wish they wouldn't have taken it away.
It was a traveling exhibit. Yeah, before Discovery.
Well, even with it no longer around, you still have the capacity for rational thoughts. What if it ever comes back, you should go and try it again.
And that's the whole thing. You lose or you lose.
Well, what did you learn from it?
Well, like to quote the Ferengi rules of acquisition, win or lose, there's always Hyperion beetle snuff.
What?
Okay. I know you spend your time studying the 10 Commandments, not the rules of acquisition.
Okay, well, I'm not a very good Christian anyway, considering I can't multiply and replenish the earth as women are expected to. So I'm not very good at following the Bible anyway, according to that.
And I was trying not to bring that up.
It's okay, you did. It's fine, I accept it. But what is Hyperion beetle snuff?
I don't know. It's in the book.
What book?
A ground up beetle or something.
Oh,
okay. I ain't been to Ferenginar in ever.
Well,
really, I guess after the lesson and the Chinese dinner, maybe go look it up online.
Well, I'm not worried about being perfect. I don't think anybody is, because if we focus too much on being perfect, we might lose faith in our ability to be a good person.
And
You know, if we lose our faith in our ability to be a good person, we might lose the ability to be in control of situations we might face. And, you know, if we lose control of our faith in ourselves and our ability to be good people, well, then we're going to tell ourselves constantly that we can't do it. And that's just not something we should tell ourselves. We should always have confidence in ourselves, even if nobody has confidence in us.
yeah,
Because
never know until you try.
we need to constantly bring the good out in ourselves, because we can't always rely on other people to do that.
But that's the thing, Heather. No, people stop thinking. They'll thinking for themselves. They'll be free from responsibility.
Yes, but we have a personal responsibility to ourselves to bring out the best in ourselves, because we can't rely on others for that, because we might not always have others around. But we will have to live with ourselves. And
Well, Heather, stop people from looking.
we have to be accountable for ourselves constantly. So we have to have a good self-image. That's our power to command is within us. Our power to command ourselves and what we think and what we do with our lives. We can always have control of how we handle our circumstances, even if we don't have control of our circumstances. And I mean, we're going to fail, but it's what we learn from our failures.
Whether it takes us one time, which never happens.
Oh, we're not perfect. We're never going to be perfect. So let's just drop the act.
Be it 10 times over or 100 times over.
Right.
If you have any type of sense in your head, you'll know how to adapt to it and learn from the mistake, learn from the lesson, so to speak.
Like
to laugh at, oh my God, I forget the lead's name. By him having to take the Kobayashi Maru 100 times, just when he thinks he has it, he finally gets it. Like, gee, and that's when Spock had to be like, there.
Well, I think he wasted so much time obsessing over his failure that he really missed out on what was going on. Because in the meantime, the rest of the crew was trying to get through to Holo Janeway's information, and he wasted a lot of time focusing on his failures that he missed being able to help everybody else. And that's the same with us.
So it's like why is it all up? It's like how am I gonna say this? Like me. And again, you have to pay attention to the other people around you.
Like
stop being so egocentric.
Obsessing over our failures does nothing for us except make us think that we aren't good enough to do anything good in life or be successful.
Well put. Well put.
We just need to focus on what good we can do, because life is a giant Kobayashi Maru.
And when the Klingons gonna blow me up? Okay, I mean, interesting outlook.
You can always get me to laugh. I love that. But we're going to have failures. We're going to have setbacks. We're going to have moments where we wonder, can we do this? Can we succeed? Or are we defined by our failures? But we don't need to be. We don't need to let ourselves be defined by our failures. I mean, it may be easy for us to be defined by our failures, but in order to move forward, we need to look back and say, we're not a failure. We may have had a fail or two or three or many in our life, but we are not a failure. We are not a screw up just because we've screwed up. We are a person full of potential and full of wonderful things to come. We are worthy of grace, we are worthy of love, and we are capable. We just have to have the faith in ourselves and be willing to bring the goodness out in ourselves. And we need to become better at listening to the positive voices within ourselves and seek out those who will give us that positive affirmation so we can better ourselves each and every moment and each and every day of our lives.
Have we ever done enterprise episodes?
We have. If you have a favorite, let me know.
Trying to remember. Well, it's like season 1, Temple of Pajem.
We have not.
Okay, so how's that?
Do you want that?
Well, it has a monastery. It's about, trying to remember off the top of my head, you know, how, people, some people have used like their faith as a facade for not so cool things.
Okay.
And
I haven't
I don't know,
seen
it's
it.
like an Archer mission.
That might be an interesting watch party then. Would you like it?
Okay, up to you, up to you.
We can have it. Are you tired?
Well, it's only 2019 my time.
Okay.
So we have it's a half. I just learned Prodigy's a half-hour show. It wasn't like when we were watching First Contact or
Yeah.
DS9 was like run 60 minutes. And like I say, me with the regular Paramount Plus with commercials.
Well, if you're rubbing your eyes, you're obviously tired. And I'm very good at reading nonverbal cues, Anthony. But we need, as a parting thing, because I think we will part because you're tired and you can.
Ain't nobody here but us chickens.
But
So,
we need to find the courage to bring the goodness out in ourselves and live according to that goodness and live according to the faith we have in ourselves and find the courage to bring out the potential in ourselves and not allow ourselves to be our own worst enemies.
yeah. Because how many times have I shot myself in the foot, as I've said before?
We don't need to look back and allow looking back to stop us from moving forward.
Yeah.
And if we ever need to ask ourselves what stops us and keeps us from becoming our best selves, really
Look at it, find a way to deal with it, and that will put you on the path to, I don't want to use the word salvation, but prosperity.
if we ever need to look back and ask us what is stopping us from becoming our best selves, that's exactly what we need to do. We need to look back and see what demons are holding us back, what barriers are holding us back.
Or I'll make a book recommendation.
Okay, that sounds great. I've never heard you make a book recommendation. So
I don't know if I can find it up yonder, but okay, author is John Taffer. The book is called Don't BS Yourself. Maybe try not to curse over Zoom.
Oh, people are
Subtitle, Stop the Excuses That Are Holding You Back.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's in my collection, like somewhere. I know like how to it basically looks at how people always like talk themselves out of succeeding because they make up excuses to explain their failures away. But the fact is that it's looking for the easy way out, and the guy is like a little solution oriented. So it's a pretty good read, especially somebody that doubts themselves. And they're always saying, oh, the world did this, my life is that.
That is amazing. And you're right. We all have the ability to do good in our lives for ourselves as long as we don't lack faith in ourselves.
Yes. And whether it takes you, again, 1 try or 100 tries to figure it out. No, it's not an easy win, but it's the path to the realization, which is the real test.
And you know, even if we just have to start by having enough faith in ourselves to take one day at a time, just take that one day at a time. Treat it like a calendar, treat it like a journey of sobriety, a wake-up call. Just take one day at a time and cross it off your calendar each day.
Yeah.
Every time you make a successful day for yourself, cross it off your calendar and say, now let's get on with the next day. Just take one day at a time of having faith in yourself and go in there and go from there. And if you have a fail day, you have a fail day. Don't get worked up. Don't just have a crash and burn. Just listen to yourself. Look at where you went wrong. Don't look back and allow that to stop you from moving forward. Just say, hey, I had a mess up, but I'm not going to let that stop me from becoming better in the long term.
Yeah.
And we all have endless potential as people. Just as long as we have faith in ourselves, that's a good beginning, but it's not an end. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and it's an ongoing journey. And we all have great potential to bring the goodness out of ourselves and into the world, but we just need to be better at listening and believing in ourselves, because we're all gifts to this world.
All righty.
I hope this was a good meeting for you.
Yeah. Quick one too.
Yeah, I know you're tired. Don't worry. I know.
All right. So
have a good night.
Episode out. Leave you be.
Have a good night.
You too, Heather. You too.
Bye. Thank you all for attending this meeting. Live long and prosper.